Night fell quietly. The village held its breath as shadows stretched over familiar roofs. Far beyond the huts, something old began to answer the drums. Each echo through the grass carried a warning the elders knew well. Even the trees seemed to lean away from that sound. Around the dying fire, memories weighed heavier than their years. They had heard this rhythm once before, and survived by silence. Hands that once drummed now clung to prayers and secrets. No one spoke, afraid a single word might answer back. Some rhythms should never be played, and never heard twice. Above them, the moon swelled like an unblinking white drum. Its light searched every rooftop, leaving nowhere to hide. Inside, Kalu listened, wondering why fear could sound so beautiful. Kalu, it's just drums. Why does it feel like they're calling me? Even the trembling walls seemed to pulse with that beat. Beyond the window, the forest waited, black and listening. Boom, boom, each strike slower than a heartbeat, heavier than footsteps. His body knew the danger long before his mind understood. Outside, flame and drum rose and fell in uneasy unison. Then the doorway darkened. Fear stepped in with his grandmother. She barred the night out, as if she'd done this before. Grandma, when the drums change, child, you do not answer. Grandma, stay inside. Kalu, I'll stay, I promise. Above them, the roof shivered like skin under a cold breath. At the forest's edge, shadows gathered where moonlight refused to fall. The whole village listened, hoping the night would ignore them. The elder's eyes kept returning to the trees, remembering losses. Elder, spare us this time, he mouthed to a silent sky. The last sparks fought the dark, then bowed to it. Inside, fear sat between Kalu and his grandmother like a third presence. In his eyes, the drums weren't distant anymore. They were inside. Outside, they never quickened, only pressed harder like knuckles on a door. Moonlight crept closer, as if following the sound's command. Shadows outside shifted shape, no longer matching any human step. Grandma's grip tightened, nails digging in, dragging him back from curiosity. Kalu, you know what this is, don't you? Grandma, some answers cost more than a boy's life, Kalu. The night wailed with wind, but the drums never wavered. Deeper in the forest, something began to move in time. The village was a small circle of breath in endless dark. Inside the hut, they shrank into each other, two hearts, one fear. Kalu's hands shook like leaves caught in another storm long ago. Outside, the last ember died, and with it, ordinary night. The elders rose, knowing hiding had never truly saved them. One pointed toward the trees, the others remembered graves there. Above, the moon stared down like a witness refusing to blink. Kalu squeezed his eyes shut, but the rhythm stayed bright. Grandma, ancestors, wrap this child, close his ears, guard his name. Outside, wind and drums braided together, weaving a night of dread. They warned Kalu, when the drums call, don't step outside. Just one look, then I'm back inside, just one look. But the evening answers with breath and shadow instead of comfort. The fog curls around his feet, as if testing his resolve. Ahead, the world vanishes and the forest becomes a rumor. Kalu listens, heart sinking to a silence that feels watchful. Then he hears it, distant drums, beating like a second heartbeat. That's not the village drums. Each thump swells, bending air and bone toward the forest throat. Against the warning, his feet still answer the rhythm's pull. The trees lean inward, like elders about to deliver judgment. Crossing the forest's edge, he steps into an older story. Around him, shadows move without owners, rewriting the path ahead. Okay, who's there? His hand tightens, the only part of him refusing to tremble. Deeper he walks, every step a question the forest won't answer. The drums now pound straight ahead, promising revelation or ruin. His breath clouds the air. He trips, reminded the forest prefers knees over certainty. Beneath him, the ground sweats with rot and something newly awakened. Kalu presses his fingers into the soil, smelling age, hearing stories ending. The wind answers, shaking branches like rattles over a patient. This was a mistake. The fog thickens, drawing closer, as if it heard him think. The drums roar now, shaking bark, bone, and whatever watches unseen. Then, nothing. Sound is cut from the world mid-breath. Kalu holds still, pinned by a silence heavier than footsteps. Alone in the mist, he realizes the drums brought him, then left. Even a falling leaf sounds like a decision made above him. Come on, move, don't just stand here. The shadows retreat, but not in any direction he trusts. He steps forward anyway, courage measured in inches, not strides. Behind him, the house waits, small, distant, suddenly precious. The fog thins, revealing a forest that looks ordinary but isn't. Each breath reminds him he's alive, not yet claimed by legend. He listens again, hoping for village sounds, fearing the drum's return. A twig snaps, small, precise, too close to ignore. No, stay away. The forest offers only stillness, like a face that stopped blinking. His pulse hammers, louder now than any vanished drum. Step by careful step, he chooses retreat over answers. Behind him, the fog rises, erasing evidence he ever entered. The trees still lean, offended he dared to turn back. Only his footsteps speak, counting distance between boy and myth. He quickens his pace, chased now by what didn't happen. At last he breaks free, the forest exhaling him back out. He steals one final glance, wondering if it's still watching. Never again, you hear me? Never again at night. The warning returns, louder now that he's survived disobeying it. Behind him, the fog pulls away as if satisfied, for now. At the threshold, Kalu understands, some doors open both ways. By dusk, the forest stopped sounding alive, and started listening back. Grandma said when the silence hurts, something's waiting to be heard. Still just trees, Kalu. Still just trees. Then the path ended, and the forest opened its secret. He stepped into the clearing like a question no one wanted answered. An old drum waited there, sitting exactly where no drum should be. That's not goat skin. Bones for ornaments, as if someone dressed the drum in the dead. Every story he'd laughed at came back, suddenly not funny at all. Don't touch it, please don't touch it. The drum answered first, breathing through the grass without a hand. Its skin shivered like something underneath wanted out. No, this is wrong. One boom, and the clearing remembered every buried thing at once. The earth cracked like a drumhead stretched too tight. Even the stones tried to get away from what was coming. Ground's moving, but nothing's walking. The first voices rose from below, soft as breath under a grave. "Where are you?" The mist answered, shaping faces from every forgotten story he'd ignored. They weren't speaking to him, they were speaking through him. The drum shook again, bones chattering like impatient teeth. Whispers wrapped around him, too many mouths, one hunger. "I'm leaving, whatever you are, stay here." The forest peeled back its skin, roots, bones, secrets all exposed. Now the whole clearing felt like the inside of a heartbeat. Cold wind carried the smell of dust and old prayers. Why is it freezing? The drum began to glow, painting monsters out of ordinary shadows. Even his shadow tried to run before he did. The dead finally found their words, and none were kind. "Stop talking inside my head." The drum answered with thunder, not music. The ground opened wider, like it regretted ever letting him walk it. Hands that remembered drumming tried to climb back to the surface. "Move, Kalu, move!" Even the trees leaned closer, eager for a better view. Something inside the drum pressed against the skin, testing its prison. "There's always a way out. There has to be." The voices rose together, a storm made only of names and blame. Then, nothing. Silence, heavier than any sound before it. "Don't move. Don't wake it again." One bone dropped, like the forest clearing its throat. "Step back. Slow. Don't turn your back on it." Mist crawled in, kindly hiding what didn't want to stay hidden. Figures gathered in the fog, witnesses to his almost burial. The drum sighed, a final heartbeat sinking back underground. "I'm not dying here." Behind him, the forest swallowed the drum like it swallowed every witness. The earth stitched its mouth shut, pretending nothing ever opened. Only his footsteps proved any of it had happened at all. By nightfall, the clearing was quiet again, waiting for the next listener. In this village, the dead never sleep, they only wait. Kalu had heard the stories, he didn't believe them. Who called them? Who beat the drum? Each strike of the drum pulls another body from the earth. They remember every face that forgot their names. Bio, if this is you, stop. The dead close in, chanting the name of the village that buried them. The ground itself refuses to stay a grave. Run, Kalu. Every heartbeat answers the drum's summons. Kalu, don't look back. The night carries their chant across fields. into sleeping houses. Think, Kalu, there's always a way out. They rise with broken tongues, still cursing the living. These are not strangers, these are forgotten ancestors. The graveyard is no longer a place, it's a hunger. Still, the drum refuses to stop. The village lights flicker, unaware the dead are marching home. Please, somebody wake me up. Even the shadows run from what follows him. The drum stumbles, then pounds harder, as if afraid to be silent. Why won't you leave me alone? The forest itself bears their anger in its scars. Their chant twists, no longer a curse, but a plea. Get up, Kalu, don't give them your back. He kicks at death like it's something he can outrun. Even the sky hides its eyes tonight. The drummer knows, if he stops, they consume him first. Every strike costs him a piece of his soul. Run, Kalu, the living still need you. Somebody remember how to fall. Don't stop, not until the chanting fades. Silence returns, but the night feels heavier for it. They watch him leave, patient. The dead have learned patience. The drum slows, but the dead it called up remains. It's not over. They know my name now. The forest finally shows Kalu what's been calling him all night. You heard the rhythm, boy. Now it will not release you. The trees close in, answering a drumbeat older than any village. One final heartbeat of the forest, and everything changes forever. Then, a silence so heavy it almost has a weight. What did I answer tonight, and what answered back? The drum hides itself, but its circle brands the earth like memory. Dawn pretends innocence, washing horror in gentle gold. Kalu leaves the forest, but the forest does not leave him. Kalu, we are still walking with you.